We're living in a very critical time in the nation of Zimbabwe. And those of you that have gathered together once again on your annual trek to have a retreat together as medical students, I think it's important you understand the severity of the season that we are in. I'm so proud of the doctors for having drawn a line in the sand and have stood up to the oppression and the oppressive situations that we find. You know, there's really no excuse for negligence. When we have hospitals that do not have running water, when we can't even get a paracetamol, this is ridiculous. And it is evil. That's all you can call it, evil. And we will not allow people to come up with real solutions, and everything's controlled. God never meant men to be controlled, and God meant for people to be free. Oppression and oppressors need to be broken. There was a liberation war fought here to break off oppression, and now we're as oppressed, if not more oppressed, than we were then. This is not right. The children of Israel were often found in these situations. They were oppressed. Then they went into a time where they thought they had been liberated. But for 40 years, they wandered in a wilderness. Why? I think there's some lessons we must learn. They wandered for 40 years because they refused to fight. They refused to stand up and attack the giants that were in the land. Now, there's some giants in our land. Now, those giants need to be addressed. But they will not go away unless somebody addresses them. And there is a generation that would never address the giants, still will not address the giants. And those giants remain. We make excuses for the giants. We have a bad report. There's always a bad report. But there were two men, Caleb and Joshua. These two men refused to bow their knee. They refused to have a bad report. And God rewarded them. They actually got to go into the promised land. They weren't afraid of the giants. They said, God is well able to deliver us. God is still able to deliver those who will stand. God is still able to deliver those who will do their part. Wickedness is never overcome through passivity or silence. Wickedness requires men and women to raise their voice and call it out. Call out what is wicked. Call out what is wrong. Now, that doesn't mean that we're out to vilify a person or even a government. We're just saying that there has to be a transparency. We have to create a work environment. You can't go to work and be demanded to work when you don't have the tools to work with. You can't serve where you are not able to serve with equity. God is a God who is equitable. So is the men and women who are serving and who are going to be serving our nation. My hope is that you will not be like past generations who in many instances refused to say anything. And because of their silence, gave no room for either God nor for leaders to rise and bring about transformation and reformation. Zimbabwe needs to be reformed. It needs to be transformed. That begins in your heart. It begins with you today. My prayer is that on this retreat, it goes beyond religious platitudes, goes beyond weak prayers, but it goes to a place where there's an encounter with God. And that men and women will rise up and say, we are well able to take this land. Eventually, the children of Israel, under the guidance and the leadership of Joshua, did exactly that. And that's your theme this year. We've been here for too long. We've been at this mountain for too long. I agree. In Zimbabwe, we've been at this mountain for too long. May God richly bless you. May your hearts and may your friendships be knit together. May you become one man, one voice. And would you please allow God to help you become the reformers that He wants you to be and that we need so desperately in our country. God bless you.